Hello friends, welcome to Cloud 24 Services TV. I am Michael. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to build this website from scratch, from the very beginning. This is a beautiful web page. I'm going to teach you how to do all of this within the next couple of minutes. It's a very responsive website. This is what we have in here on mobile devices. This is it, home, about, services, gallery, and all that. So I'm going to teach you how to do all of this within the next couple of minutes. As you can see, the responsiveness is dope. Yep. So we're going to do this together. Stay with me as we build this from scratch and get this exact result. Let's go. So the very first thing I want to do is to go straight to go to our code editor. I am using Visual Studio Code, so you can open any one of your choice. If it's Visual Studio like myself, beautiful. If it's Sublime, but of course I will suggest you use Visual Studio because it really makes a lot of things better and sweeter to use. Okay, so let's go straight into it. So the very first thing I want to do is to create our file. I'm going to create my new file and I'll call it index.html. Okay, so if it's because I'm using Visual Studio, I'll just press my shift and exclamation mark, then enter. It will give me all of this boilerplate right here. So if you're using Sublime, your own might be just type HTML, then press your tab key on your keyboard. If you're using a Windows operating system, it will take you straight to it to bring up all of this for you. So, but of course, if you're using Visual Studio Code, all you need to do is just press your shift on your keyboard, and of course your shift and exclamation mark. It will give you all of this. So let's get started right now. So the very first thing I want to do is before doing anything, I would like to let me cancel this guy out. Good, so I can have my full screen. Okay, the very first thing I want to do is to come right here and create my link, my CSS link. Okay, so this href here, I do not need it. So what I'm going to do is that I'll go to this website, cdnjs.com/libraries. I'm typing it so that you can see it. /libraries/font awesome. Okay, so this is it. So the very first thing you want to do is to come right here and click this copy URL for the first one, cdnjs/cloudflare.com, Ajax, library, and all that. So just copy this one, click here. Okay, it's copied. Then I go straight to the link I created. Yes, come right here, the link tab, come right here, remove the style.css and paste this one here. Okay, so this website and the link I got from it will give me access to some very good functionality, which of course only this can give me for now. All right, so the very next thing I want to do is go straight to Font Awesome. But before I do that, I'll type link again, my CSS link. Of course, you know how to do this already. I believe you do. Okay, so I'll come right here, and of course this is style.css. So I'm going to save this, and of course go to my file. I'll create a new file called style.css, so I can reference my styling from there, external styling. Very well, style.css. Okay, so everything is still very empty, nothing is here just yet. Okay, and of course too, all the images I used, of course, is just one image. This particular background image, I'll make it available I'll drop a link to this image, this background image, so that you can have it too. Okay. So we haven't done anything just yet, but before I go straight to the CSS, let's start to code. So we'll just copy every bit of what we have here, replicate the exact same thing. So the very first thing is this particular part of it, this header part of it, right? So I'll just go straight to my code editor and start the work. So the very first thing I want to do is create the section. Okay, inside the section, that is, all of this is the section. Everything here is the section. This is the hero section. So of course we can call it section. So inside the section, we can of course have the header. Okay, inside the header, we can have all of this. We can have the icon, the logo, and then we have these navigation links. Okay, so let's go there right now. So inside the header, we can have our logo. So I can have something like H2. Okay, then inside the H2, I can have this anchor tag. Of course, it's not going anywhere. Let me just put hash there. Okay, then what is the name of this company? It is Project X. Okay, so I'll copy this right now. Come right here and paste it. Project X. Okay, very well. So once that has been done, the very next thing I want to do, still within the header, I'm going to bring all of these guys, all of this home, about us, and all of this, right? So I just bring them right now, and then I will create unordered lists, create unordered lists. Inside the unordered list, I'm going to have the list item. Okay, so the first list item, of course, it will come with an A tag too, an anchor tag. So we have the list item, okay, with the anchor tag inside it. Okay, so the very first one, we'll call it home. This is home. Okay, I can call it index.html. Okay, so we just pick others. I'll hold my shift, my alt, and then my down arrow. Shift, alt, and down arrow to replicate this, to duplicate this, right? So this is home. I can call this one about. I can call this one services. I can call this one gallery. I can call this one contact. Okay, so that settles that. But there's something I'm going to show you which is very important. I don't really like to put my I don't like to have my another list of all of these links, okay, straight inside the header. What I'll just do is I can cut it out, then create nav element, and then drop it inside the nav. Okay, because naturally we know very well that these are navigations, right? These are navigations, so let them be inside the nav element. Okay, so it's important for responsiveness. It's very important for responsiveness, because of course for the responsiveness of this original page, I'm not using JavaScript at all for this. I'm not using JavaScript. It's going to be purely HTML and CSS. So in order for us to be able to work this easily, it's important we bring all these nav icons, all these nav list items inside the nav here, right here. Is for a reason I will show you in just a couple of minutes time. Okay, so that is that. Since we have settled this header, okay, the very next thing I want to do is come right here and take care of this other part of the website. Okay, so this is its new horizon and all that. So we have to put all of this one too within a particular div. Let's try to create another div. outside the header is settled. So let's create another div right here. So I can have a div and give it a class of maybe article. Okay, yeah, I have a div, I give it a class of article. So inside that article now, I can have this one. This is more like a h2. Okay, so I have my h2 tag. Inside the h2 tag, I will copy what I have here. You can please type it. Okay, you can pause the video and type it, or type anything that you like. But then again, it's important I'll suggest you do exactly what I'm doing so we can get the exact same results. Okay, yeah. However, you can use any text you want. Just enjoy yourself. Use any text of your choice. All right. So that's there. All right. So that's all about that one. So the very next thing I want to do is this p tag. I'm going to copy everything right here. Okay. Or better still, we can have a p tag normally. Okay, then I can have this. Just follow me. Maybe lorem 50. Okay, just type lorem 50. If you're using Visual Studio Code, then enter. So it will give you all of this. It will give you all this junk, not very reasonable text, but maybe it might mean something else in a different language. I don't know, but in English it makes no sense. But we just use it to occupy space. All right, this lorem ipsum rather. So that's there. So the very next thing I want to do is come right here and then take this anchor tag. So I'll come right here again. We have the anchor tag. I'll just create the anchor tag, the a tag, and of course it doesn't go anywhere. So maybe hash there. Then what does it say? What does the anchor tag say? It says explore. So I'll just come right here and type explore. Okay, so I think that's all. But I think there's more. Yeah. There's more. We have to take care of these ones as well. Okay, we have to take care of these ones as well. These are from Font Awesome, so you have to use them. So that is there. So I'm going to create another div. This is div. Okay, div for article. I'll create another div again. I'll create another div, then dot to give it a class. This class can be let's call it icons. Okay, call it class icons. Okay, very well. Yeah, how did I do this? Div dot icons, so it automatically create the class for me. All right, because I'm using Visual Studio Code. So that's there. So how do I get the icons? I'll just go straight to fontawesome.com. Yeah, fontawesome.com. fontawesome.com. Okay, yeah. Yes, now that we're here, the very next thing I want to do, wait for it to finish loading. Very well. So I'm going to look for, I need social media links, social media icons, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Okay, so I just come right here and type Facebook, then enter. Facebook. So it'll bring out this for me. So I'm going to choose this one, Facebook, then click this one, so it automatically copies. So I'll come right here and paste this here. I'll paste this here. Okay, paste this here, but it's supposed to be an anchor tag, so it's supposed to be a link, right? So it should take us to Facebook, right? So I'll cut it out and then introduce anchor tag first. So inside the anchor tag, I can then bring in this guy. Okay, yeah. So I'll create another one, another anchor tag. Okay, then of course yet another anchor tag too. Okay, so I'll come right here again. I'll cancel this one out. Okay, I'm done with Facebook, so I'll just come here and look for Twitter. Okay, so here goes Twitter, but of course it's called X right now, so I'm just gonna pick the X, pick this one, yes, pick this one, and paste it right here inside, just between the anchor tag, right? Yeah, paste it right here. So the very next thing I want to do, I want to look for is Instagram. So I'll just come right here and search for Instagram. Okay, so Instagram is right here, looking us in the face. Or staring us in the face rather. So I'll just come right here and type and click this guy, so it automatically copies, and then I'll come right here and paste it right here. So this is everything we have. This is all the HTML we're going to need for this mini project. So let me open this with my live server and see how it looks like. Is it gonna look beautiful? Hey, come out. Good. So here we are. This is what we have. Looks ugly, but don't worry. We're gonna work on this one and finish it up right in the next couple of minutes. All right. So that's there. Let me cancel this out. So the very first thing we want to do again, or the very next thing we want to do, is to change this font. This font is not cool. Okay. So I will go to Google Fonts. Just type Google Fonts. Google Fonts. Okay, this is Google Fonts now. So I'll just click it. Google has a lot of beautiful fonts that you can use for your web page designs. Very, very beautiful fonts. So I'm just going to come right here and search for this awesome font, this beautiful font called Neonito, N-U-N-I-T-O, Neonito. So this is Neonito right now. Okay, so I'll just click this. Look at how beautiful it is. Look at how beautiful. Look at how, I love the way it's well rounded. Yes, something like this. All right, so I'm going to pick this one, then click Get Font, then click Get Embedded Code. So right here, click Import. Very well. So copy from here, just copy it, copy this, then of course go back to your code, to your CSS, and paste it there. This is the first thing you're doing on your CSS page. Okay, remember the CSS has already been connected to your HTML. Remember this part of the code where we did this, the connection has been made. So whatever we do on the CSS, okay, it affects the HTML already, instantly and automatically as well. So that settles there. The very next thing we want to do is to introduce this font family. Of course, we've brought in this link, this connector, which is beautiful. Okay, now it's time for us to introduce the font family. But before we do that, let's go back to our code, our CSS code, and then asterisk, and then we have this guy. So the very first thing I want to do is padding. Oh, this guy is supposed to autocomplete for me, so I'm going to come right here. Look at this. Port CSS. If you're using Visual Studio Code, port CSS, and then come right here and then look for CSS. Yes. So this way, Visual Studio Code automatically knows that, all right, this particular page is a pure CSS page, cascading style sheet. All right. So whatever I do, it tries to autocomplete for me most times. All right. So that's there. So padding. As you can see, it completes it for me. Padding is 0. Okay. Then margin is 0. Okay. Then box sizing, as you can see, box sizing, it auto completes it for me. Box sizing. Then I'll take border box. Okay. So the very next thing is the font family. Remember, after we copied this guy I just scroll down so you don't get confused. I scroll down and then there's something called font family right here. This is it. Highlight it and copy it. Okay, so take it back to your code editor and then paste it right there. So where you have inter, remove this inter and put neonito. I hope, yeah, that's correct. Neonito. So that automatically saves. Let's go and check the web page. What we're doing. As you can see, the font family has changed. This is now Neonito. That's the beginning of the beauty, right? So now we can get started with the beautification of our page. The very next thing we want to do is go straight to the HTML. The first thing we have here is the section. I'll just take the section. I can be very lazy sometimes. I'll just copy the section and come right here. That's the name section. I'll paste it right here. Then of course, I'm pasting it because it is a tag name. I'm using the section directly because it is a tag name. Okay, you use either tag names or classes or IDs. Okay, these are the identifiers you use. Okay, so here the section tag name. So this whole section now, remember where we're coming from or what we're trying to replicate. This section has a background image, which is this. Okay, so I'll come right here. Let's go back to our own. Yeah, come right here. I think I can close this. Okay, let me close this guy up. Yeah, let me have these two beside themselves, beside each other. So the background image, first of all, before the background image, the section should have a width. That is wideness, right? Should have a width, if there's any such word, wideness, just take it like that. All right, so it should have a width of 100%, okay? And of course, too, it should have a height. It should have a height of 100 vertical height, okay? 100 VH, okay? The very next thing we should do is to give it a display. Okay, we're displaying flex. Okay, we're using the flex box for this. Displaying flex. Okay, and if you look at what we have, everything is flowing down. Okay, so of course it's going to be okay. No, we're going to use this one. Look at this header right now. Look at the way it is. So for that reason, we're going to give it a flex direction of row, which of course is the default one. Okay, then we'll stop there for now, and then we can give it a background. That is where the background image comes in. So this is horizon.png. Okay, I almost said .php. Okay, horizon.png. So this background right now is going to be linear gradient. Okay, so here I'm going to have to top. Okay, then comma. Then I'm going to have RGBA value. Okay, I'm going to have inside your brackets, you're going to have 0, 0,0,0,0.5. Okay, then outside the brackets you can have 50%. Okay, then put a comma there too. Okay, try to replicate the same. RGBA again, inside your brackets you have 0,0,0,0.5. Then outside the bracket you have 50%. Okay, so everything right now you can put a comma at the end of everything, and of course you're going to have URL. Just put enter here. So inside the URL I'm going to bring in the name of this. If your background image is inside a folder, maybe a folder called img, you can of course put a dot //img / the name of the background image rather. In my case it's horizon.png. Okay, but also in my own case, the image is inside the same folder, the same directory, with the style, the index, the HTML, and of course, so everything is just within the same place. It's not inside a different folder. For that reason, I do not need this. So I only showed you this for the sake of those whose background images would be inside their folder. Okay, so that is that. So let's even go and check first if the background image is already there. Let's check. Okay, it's already here, but it's looking ugly. It's not looking good at all. So here's what we're going to do. We'll come right here again. Okay, so you're going to have background position. Background position should be center. Okay, then of course, we're also going to have background size, okay, which is cover. Okay, then the last one, background repeat, we're going to have no repeat. Okay, so that should make it stand well. Okay, right now it's better. All right, so but don't be carried away with all these ones. Don't worry, it's all going to be fine. Okay, yeah. So the very next thing I want to do, I'll go straight again to this place. Let's go straight to the HTML. Now we have the header. Okay, so I'm going to copy that name, header. Okay, then come right here and paste it here. So for my header now, okay, for my header, the header is where this icon or this logo, and of course all of these ones will be, right? So it's just this. So I'm going to do this for the header. For the header, I'm going to give it okay, let me say to top, 0 from the top. Okay, then of course I'm going to give it a padding of 20 pixels top and bottom, then 40 pixels left and right. 20 pixels top and bottom, 40 pixels left and right. Okay, let me give it a temporary background color so you can see how it looks like. Let's just give it something funny. Let's give it blue. Yeah, this is it. Okay, but we're not done. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come right here again and display, of course, display flex. Okay, and the flex direction, did I just type flex? Flex direction will be row. Okay, so flex direction is row, but it's coming out differently. Now here's what we're going to do. There's something responsible for, I'll just come right here. Yeah, come right here, look at this section here, the display flex, and then the flex direction row. Just delete it. Okay, delete that one so it automatically goes normal. So this is what we want. Okay, this is what we want. So the very next thing we want to do is to take care of the logo, this H2A, right? H2 anchor, right? So I'll just come right here. I'm gonna have header, then H2, then anchor. Okay, very well. Why do I have all of this? Sometimes it's important to call children by their surnames or their father's names. All right, so this anchor tag belongs to the H2, is a child of the H2, and the H2 also is a child of the header. So header, H2, then anchor tag. Okay, so that takes care of that. So that way whatever we do will automatically answer. So now what we want to do, because of course it's an anchor tag, remember anchor tags most times, of course all the time by default they are underlined. So I'm going to have this text decoration of none, and of course, so I'm going to give it a color of what we have here. We're going to give it this color. And what is this color, please? I'll just right click this and check it. Yeah. I'll just copy it like this. Copy it and then go back to my code editor. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the color. Let me expand it so you can see it. Of course, it is hash ed7534. Hash ed7534. Let me expand so you can see it very well. Hash ed7534. Okay, so all right. So now that we have this, of course, that automatically answers for us. This is it here, but it's not looking very nice, right? Don't worry, we'll make it beautiful. So the very next thing I want to do is to give it a font size of 35 pixels. Okay, then font weight of say 900. That is fine enough. That's good enough. Then of course too, I'll give it a letter spacing of 1 pixel. That is not the end. Another thing I'm going to do is to give it a text transform of uppercase. A text transform of uppercase. Yeah, this is exactly what I want, right? So this guy here, take them away, bring them right here. Some people would want to use float, but nobody uses float anymore. So we're using flexbox, so that's automatic. It's going to take care of itself in a very short while. So that's about this one. Then I'll come right here again. Look at this nav. Okay, this nav. I'll just come right here and then back to my CSS. I have nav. Okay, so my curly braces right now. I'm going to display flex. Okay, display flex, and then the flex direction is going to be row, just by default, right? Yeah, it's going to be row. Why? Because I want them to be lined up like this horizontally and not this vertical. This vertical is supposed to be for responsiveness, which of course we'll get to very soon. Okay, so that's that. So that's about that one. So the very next thing is to go straight to my UL. The UL is a child of the nav. Remember, the UL is a child of the nav. So I'm going to have nav UL. Okay, so I'll come right here again and then type nav UL. Okay, then my curly braces now is also going to be display. We're going to use flex, right? Display flex. Just follow me. It's very, very easy. Display flex, and of course the flex direction as well. Flex direction will be a row. Okay, that's all about that one as well. Yeah, so the very next thing, as you can see, the beautiful thing about this flex is that we can use the parent to determine how the children would behave, the direction of the children. For instance, right now, all the list items have automatically arranged themselves this way, but that's not where we're going, right? There's something else we need to do. Okay, so there's something else now for this guy. Okay, for this one, we're going to have the nav. Okay, the header is what combines all of them together. Remember, this is the header. The header contains both the logo and all of everything inside the nav, right? So go back to the header, which is this. For the header now, let's remove this background color. It's not needed. Okay, so for the header, the very next thing I'm going to do, apart from the flex direction, I'm going to justify the content. And I'm going to use space between. Let's see what happens. As you can see, space between the logo and all of these things here, there should be space, all right? And of course, they should be well ordered, okay? That's not all right, but they're looking really jam-packed. This is ugly, but don't worry, we know exactly what to do, okay? So the very next thing I want to do is to come right here, the nav UL, okay, paste, and then the list items. Now for the list items, naturally for an ordered list, the list items will always come with these dots, okay? All of these dots, we're going to remove all of them right now. So what we're going to do is just type list style, and then none, okay? So that automatically removes all of them, right? Now the next thing is this. We can see all the list items have this anchor tags in them. So, and these anchor tags come with this automatic design of underlining, and they've even become very invisible right now, as you can see. So let's go work on those ones. So I'm going to come right here again, and then let me just copy everything right like this, okay, and then paste, and then for a tag. So the a tag is a child of the list item, of each list item, and the list item is a child of another list is a child of the nav, okay? Yeah, so I just come right here. So for this a right now, what's going to happen? I'll say text decoration is none, okay? And also I can go forward to say that the color I want for these list items and everything is supposed to be FFF, which is white, okay? Of course, that's visible already. Yeah, that's visible already. So there's something else I'm going to do. Let me copy all of this, yes, and bring them down here, okay? For each list item, we're going to do something on the list items for all of these list items right now, apart from the last one, which is contact. There's something I'm going to do, okay? So I'll just, for all of this right now, just put colon, then not, okay? Then in brackets, I also have colon, then last child. So I have my curly braces now. Okay, now what am I going to do? I'm going to give all of these guys a margin left and right. I'm going to give all of them margin left and right. So, of course, so here's what I have. I'm going to have margin top and bottom. Let's call it 10 pixels. Okay, then left and right, let's call it 20 pixels. Okay, very well. Yeah, so top and bottom 10 pixels, left and right 20 pixels, but this one is exempted. All right, now why did I exempt this last one? This last one does not need a margin right. Why? This contact here is supposed to have a gap to the screen, to the walls of the screen. The gap between here and here is supposed to be the exact gap between here and here. And of course, we have made it 40 pixels, right? So it must not increase. However, we can give this one to a margin left. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this so it will affect only the last one. I'll give it margin top 10 pixels, margin bottom, let me change this to bottom. Margin bottom also 10 pixels, then margin left can be 20 pixels. So all of them will balance out right now. As you can see, they all balance out. Okay, so that's how I want it to be. But there's something else again. I want them to have a better font weight, and of course I don't want them to be in mixed what do you call it now? I want it to be capital. It shouldn't be camel case. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go straight to this one. Okay, nav ul lia, that's the anchor tag. Now I'm just going to give it a font weight of say 600. Okay, and of course as well, what else? I'm going to give it a text transform of uppercase. Okay, so each of them is bold enough. Okay, that is that. So the very next thing I want to do is to take care of these other parts of it, right? We're done with everything header. Okay, so this part of the business, let's go deal with it. Very important. Let's go. So I'll go straight to my HTML again. On the HTML, I have the article, that is dot article, right? Yeah. So very first thing, or the very next thing rather, is dot article. How do I want to display them? Display flex. Okay, and then the flex direction now. The flex direction now would be column. Why did I use column? Why didn't I use row? Column because they expected to stack on themselves the H2, the P tag element, the P tag content, and of course to the anchor tag. So it should be one on the other, right? So that's why it is column. Display flex direction is column. So that's why I'm gonna do this right now. That's why I did this rather. Okay, so as that being said, the next thing I'm going to do is to go straight to the H2. Okay, I can say dot article H2, right? So let me just copy this one. I don't feel like typing too much. So dot article, paste it right now, then H2. Okay, very well. So what are we going to do at this point? They can give it a color of white. Who does this? FFF. Okay. Of course, white is still the same thing, but I like the hexadecimal code, right? So that's that. Let's see how it looks like. Okay. But then again, there's something else we gotta do. There's something else we need to do. Yeah. As you can see, all of them, none of them exit this particular part. Okay, so it means we shouldn't leave it this way. Okay, so first thing, okay, it should have a margin, so it can be on the same line with this, and of course too, it should have a width. Okay, so let's go deal with that. Before we continue. So this nav, this article, right? This particular article, I called it nav. Sorry, article should have it should have a width. Of say 55%. I'm using percentage here. Then of course too, it should have a margin left. Margin left of 40 pixels. Remember, the same margin left we gave to the header, 40 pixels left and right? So that's exactly what's happening here. So if you just take a look at it, as you can see, it's having a margin left of this, which is perfect. Okay, so back to this guy. It is very small and it ought to be like this. Okay, so I'll just come right here now, and that's for the H2. Okay, it should have a font size of maybe, can I give it 50 pixels? Okay. Okay. Then of course too, I'll give it a text transform of uppercase. Letter spacing of 2 pixels. Okay. Then I'm also going to give it a margin top of okay, maybe 40 pixels. Let's just take a look at it. Okay, first of all, let's quickly take care of the font weight. The font weight, I would like 900, and let's see how it looks like. Okay, but Nature's Perfect Gifts. Nature's Perfect Gift. This is too long, right? So I'm going to change the width. The width of this guy. The width should be maybe 55%. I'm still using percentage. Yeah. No, that's too small. I can use 60%. Let's see how 60 goes. Nature's Perfect. No. Let me check that again. Nature's Perfect Gift. Okay, so maybe I gave it 65, and let's see how that goes first. Nature's Perfect Gifts. I want to have the exact same result, so that's why I'm doing this. $78. Yes, so that does it. 78% will do it, right? But there's something else again. There's something else. This guy has orange color, so I'm going to make this happen that way as well. So the very next thing I'm going to do, I'll come right here where we have, is it Perfect Gift? Okay, where we have the Perfect Gift, I'll just, where is it? Okay, Perfect Gift. I'll just cut this guy out, then bring in a span. The span, okay, then paste it right back in there. So this span will take care of the color of Perfect Gift. So I'll just copy this guy, article H2, okay, then span. That is the span which belongs to H2, which belongs to article, okay. So the next thing to do is to give that one a color, of course, a color of orange. So that should automatically take care of what we have. Very well. New Horizon, Nature's Perfect Gift. New Horizon, Nature's Perfect Gift. That's perfect. That's wonderful. So the very next thing I want to do right now is take care of this guy. We're almost there. So this P tag right now, let's go take care of it. Okay. We have the article, then P. That is the P tag belonging to that article, right? So first of all, it should have a color of white. And of course, too, the fonts, the font size could be 17 pixels. All right, which of course makes a lot of sense. Let's take a look at it. But before then, let's give it a margin top of say 40 pixel. Will that make sense? That should make sense. Good, that makes sense. But it's way too. Let me see. Okay, I can make it 30, maybe 35 or 38. Margin top is 38 pixels. I just wanted to see it on this line here, so maybe I can make it 30 pixel or 34 pixels. Or 30. Okay, so whichever way, I think that makes sense. Or let me just change this one to 16. Yeah. So we have our one right now. Okay, bring this back to maybe 33. Okay, so the next thing is this explore. What we're gonna do, the explore, which is of course the A tag. The A tag, right? So article A. So dot article, then A. Alright? So it's an A tag. The very first thing is to remove that. The very first thing is to remove the underline it carries and the blue and all that. So first thing is text decoration of none. Okay, remove it. Then of course too, we're gonna give it a margin top of say 30 pixels. Then we give it a padding. We give it a padding of 15 pixel to the top and bottom, and of course to maybe 30 pixel to the left and right. Let's see how it looks like first of all. What's going on? Let's give it a color of white. Okay, color of white, and of course background color of white and background color of this. Yeah. But there's something else too. It's not supposed to be this long. Okay, so I'm gonna reduce the width of this one just to make it stop right here. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to reduce the width of this P tag, which is article P, right? I give it a width of maybe 70%. Let's see how well that can help. Okay, no, let's make it 80%. Or maybe 85. Okay, 85 makes sense already, so that's there. Then for this guy, so first of all, let's remove these guys. These guys are causing a little confusion here. Let's bring them to this part of our work. So all the icons, this div, let's move it away. So we have dot icons, right? So I'll just come right here, dot icons. Okay, can give it position of absolute. Okay, then from the top we can give it maybe 90 vertical height. Oh, sorry, top, we give it 90 vertical height. Then from the right we can give it 40 pixels. Okay, but because of this position absolute, there's something we need to do. If this guy has an absolute position and it is inside the section, right? So it means that the section should have a relative position. So let's go back, let's go up to the section. Yeah, let's give it a position relative. Okay, so that moves all the icons to this point, right, to this part. Yeah, then for this one, let's give it a width of 120 pixels. This anchor tag, So we come right here, article A. So width is 120 pixels. Okay, let's see. Okay, that makes sense already. So we can then give it a border radius of maybe 25 pixels. Okay, I think that should work wonders. Okay, that's fine. So here we are. But then again, the explore, please, let's give it a font weight of maybe 500. Okay, I think that should take care of it. Okay, it's more visible now. So let's take care of this, guys. Okay, all of this, let's take care of them. Already we've moved them to this place, and of course it's just aligning with the contact, okay, which is how it should be. All right, so we're going to have icon A, okay, icons A for each of the A tags, right? So we'll have icons, copy it, okay, icons with a dot right here because a class, icon A. Okay, I'm gonna give it a color of white, which is this. I'm giving it a font size of 25 pixels. Okay, a font size of 25 pixels. Then of course too, just like we did here, we'll pick these two apart from the last one, then give it a margin left and right of 10 pixels. So let's go. We'll come right here, dots icons A, then colon not, N-O-T, then in brackets we have colon again, last child. Okay, so for the last child now, for all of them apart from the last child, that's the meaning of this code. Apart from the last child, is going to have margin right of 10 pixels. As you can see, this has a margin right of 10 pixels. This has a margin right of 10 pixels. This is not affected. This already has 40 pixels from here to here. Okay, so that's perfect right now. So the very next thing I want to do is to... Okay, there's something else I've got to do. Back to this one. Margin top. Okay. There's something I've got to correct right here. Instead of this margin top, I think it's important I use top, just top. Okay, then I can probably give it maybe 75 or even 85. Okay, vertical height. Okay, then come right here and give it a position of absolute. It's still perfect. Okay, we can even make it maybe 88. Okay, which still works very well. Yeah, works perfectly. So this is everything about the desktop display of this web page. So let's go deal with the mobile right now. That's where responsiveness comes in. But before we go there, before we do that, there are some other things I'd like to do. Very few things. These ones, I want them to, let's give them hover effect. So we can just come back to nav UI. Okay, nav UI LIA. Yeah, this one here. So I'll just come right here and copy this nav UI LIA. Come right here, copy it. I can just paste it right here. Just right here. Then hover. Okay, then open my curly braces. So when I hover on it, what do I want? Anytime I hover on these guys, the color should just change to this. Okay, that's what I want. When I hover, color should become this one. Okay, and then let me just change the transition of this one. Transition, so that it can be smooth. Transition should be 0.4 seconds, then ease. Okay, let's see how that works. As you can see, so this is how it should be. Then this one too, I want each of them to pop out anytime. It should expand a little and pop out anytime I hover on them or click on them. So let's go back to the icons. Okay, for the icons now, icons A. Okay, icons, oh god, keep forgetting, dot icons, then A. When I hover on it, it should transform by scaling. It should scale, okay, to 0.2. Okay, it should transform by scaling 2.2, and not just that, that is, it should increase a little above times 2 of itself. Okay, so that's that. And of course too, the color should as well change. The color should as well change to this. Okay, then icon A, I can also give this one a transition of 0.4 second ease. Okay, let's see how that works. Oh, it's not responding yet. There's something I've got to do. For all of this guy, for the icons, let's give it a display flex. Let's go back and check. It's responding now. Okay, responding now. Perfect. Okay, so for the responsiveness, this video is actually very long already, so I'll be taking the responsiveness to another tutorial, and the link will be in the description of this particular video. So click the description, you will see the link to the responsiveness class. I will see you there. God bless you.